Hi, and welcome to Piccadilly Circus and part 2 of my plane versus train challenge. So in part 1, if you haven't seen it already, I should put a link somewhere on the screen for it. I took a plane from Newcastle Airport into Heathrow and then made my way to Piccadilly Circus in a time of 3 hours and 34 minutes. Part 2, which is here and now, I am going to make my way back to Newcastle as part of the plane versus train challenge, and we're going to see which piece of transport takes the longest. So if you haven't watched part 1 already, I would give it a watch. I'm looking forward to this. I haven't been to train for a long time, probably a good 20 years since my last long train journey down to London. So I'm looking forward to it. Just about to go and jump on the underground and make my way across to London King's Cross for my train, which is going to be an Azuma train. Now, I'm not really as much into trains as what I am planes, but I'm looking forward to this train journey. I've got my laptop, going to sit down and enjoy it. I know there's been some obviously social distancing with regards to seats, so it should be quite a quiet journey. But look, interested to see how it's going to turn out. So, come along for the ride. P.S. It's not often the weather in London is worse than what it is in Newcastle. Today, it certainly is. It's absolutely pissing down here. Well, it's not so much anymore, but it was. Whereas Newcastle, as I say in part 1, nice blue skies, a bit cold, but yeah, not often the weather down here is worse.
To carry on the hill due to planned engineering work for alternative route. Speak to staff.
So I'm currently at King's Cross. I am just about to make my way to the train. I think you can see what platform I'm leaving from. But yeah, it's pretty quiet here. Busier than what it was at the airport, but not too busy still. So yeah, go and see what platform we're on, and then I'm heading for the train.
Is in operation at this station for the purpose of security and safety management.
It wasn't long before we were on and our speed started to pick up. Wi-Fi is available free of charge throughout the train, although as you can see it wasn't that fast. I ended up using my phone as a hotspot as it was a lot quicker. It wasn't long before we passed through the first big station on the trip, Peterborough. Next would be Grantham, but the first actual stop for this train was going to be York, much further north.
Have kids with someone, there'll be someone that thinks the same way I do. Hopefully, I know.
The thought of like bringing kids into this world.
I know. It's not necessarily a good thing to do that, is it? Like, yeah.
Due to social distancing, LNER had created their own in-seat dining feature, which you could order through. It was relatively well priced, I thought, and in line with the prices you would pay on aircraft. Can anyone name the power station? Approximately 2 hours after leaving London, we were pulling into York. This was the first stop on the journey north.
as well as your nose. Please just wish to remain at their seat. We do have our new Let's Eat at Your Seat app available. Simply use your smartphone or device to scan the QR code on the back of the seat in front of you. This will take you to our menu, where you can order any items that are available, and these will be delivered to you.
Hey, so just left York. So about 50 minutes to an hour to go until we get to Newcastle. It's very bumpy on here, mind. It's more turbulent on the train than what is in the sky. So we have, as I say, about 50 minutes left to go. Train journey's been good, quick so far. York was the first stop. Cabin, it's probably about 10 or 12 people in it. So I'm not in a quiet carriage, but didn't realise it would be as loud as what it is. So a couple of teenagers, I guess, watching programs on their phone, and then another guy who was clearly inebriated, shall we say, giving his life story to some girl on the phone and trying to get a number, which was say 50 minutes to go, and I'll catch up with you when we get back to Newcastle.
Growing up in Durham, I knew we weren't far from the city, and that magnificent view we get of the castle and the cathedral. If you're ever in the area, Durham is well worth a visit. The view coming into Newcastle isn't too bad either. Newcastle Central Station opened in 1850 and is currently a Grade 1 listed building.
Hi, I am back home, back to where I started this morning from part 1. Again, if you haven't seen part 1, there'll be a link in somewhere, I'll put it in the description below. Good fun day out, really pleased I did the plane versus train challenge. But yeah, it took me 4 hours and 7 minutes to get back from Piccadilly Circus using public transport and the train, and then getting a car from Newcastle Central Station back home. The same way I got to the airport this morning. So 4 hours 7 minutes versus 3 hours 34 minutes taking the plane. But it's a very similar times. I think if any of those, if the plane was delayed this morning, it could have taken a little bit longer. If the train was delayed. So yeah, I think half an hour between the two of them. I think you're pretty much nailed on to get there in the same amount of time whether you take the train or the plane. So if you're going to travel from this part of the world, if you can get on the train, that was the quickest train that operates between the two cities, I believe, between Newcastle and London, and vice versa. 3 hours. Some have more stops than that one had. But yeah, there's not much in it really time-wise. Personally, I'll take the plane every time over the train. I think it's less turbulent with those rails the way they were earlier on. But no, I think I'd take the plane every single time. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know on Twitter. I'm on Twitter as Lee's Travels. I'm also on Instagram. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. Until next time.